Gasparini, and welcome to this segment of Penn Voice. I am joined today by Lisa Putkey, who is the program director for the San Mateo County Pride Center. Lisa, welcome. You've got your wonderful T-shirt with all great color and pride.
Yeah.
So we're, I think, going on our first year anniversary with the Pride Center. It's fairly new to San Mateo County.
We just had our first year anniversary, June 1st.
So tell us a little bit about how did we come to build the Pride Center in San Mateo County, and what are some of the programs that you're doing?
Yeah, I would love to. So we are the first and only LGBTQ community center in San Mateo County. Previously, if you were like me, I grew up in San Bruno, I'm queer, and I also have mental health challenges. And growing up in this county, I never really connected with LGBTQ folks. I always had to go to San Francisco, to San Jose, or to the East Bay, and there was never really a community or coordinated services along the peninsula. And so recognizing the lack of services and the high disparities, health disparities amongst the LGBTQ community, a group of behavioral health and recovery service staff came together in dialogue, concerned about the well-being of LGBTQ community, and out of that, the Pride Initiative was created.
Right.
This was over a decade ago, and since then, they've been involved with community events, trying to create more welcoming and safer spaces for LGBTQ community. And one of the needs that really came forth from community, from all ages, from high school to older adults, was that there was no central space, no physical space to connect, to just to be ourselves, or to get connected to different community resources and services.
Right.
So they were able to secure funding through the Mental Health Service Act and put out a proposal which four amazing local nonprofits, the leader of which Star Vista, and as well as Outlet of Adolescent Counseling Services, Peninsula Family Service, and Daly City Partnership, came together and got a contract to create this center. And in June 1st of 2017, we launched it, and it was amazing. There were over 400 folks at the opening, and since then, the amount of community support and has just been amazing.
Right. And I think it's been something that no one ever predicted either, because I remember interviewing for Penn Voice, Jay Africa, who was one of your founders of the Pride Center. Yes. And he was sort of giving numbers of what they felt would be expected attendees or folks that would come to the center. And I think those numbers went out the door. They went through the roof. You ended up with so much more attention and people seeking resources and programs that I think it blew everyone's minds as to how popular and how needed the Pride Center is. So you're the program coordinator. Tell us a little bit about what happens other than this great, wonderful place to be and to learn and to talk and socialize and learn from one another. What are some of the programs that you're doing?
Yeah, well, we have a clinical program. One of the most exciting things is that we're an innovative collaboration, and the idea is that we're a one-stop shop for LGBTQ community to get their needs met. And so we're merging the community social activities with direct mental health services. So we have therapists that provide individual, family therapy, as well as therapy for relationships. We do group therapy. We also do several psychoeducation classes, such as for parents of LGBTQ and trans youth and teenagers. We also have a case manager who does amazing work getting folks into permanent housing, connected with food and employment, as well as help with homework, and we have drop-in hours with our case manager every Wednesday of the month, and the last Wednesday of the month is our gender name change clinic, because we've had a lot of folks coming forth needing support in navigating the legal systems and getting their gender and name change markers changed.
Right.
In addition to the clinical piece, we are a community center, so we're a hub for community to gather and connect, everything from the local GSAs to our LGBTQ commission to the Pride Initiative, which still meets there, to AA groups, to PFLAG, Parents and Families of LGBTQ folks. We're really a space for folks to come. It's the community center, and the community can make of it what they need. And we also, ourselves, provide several social activities. We have a youth program, an older adult program, a peer support program where we have several groups that are identity-based, such as our trans group, which has been amazing. They have boosted their meetings from once a month to 4 times a month. They were just in the Trans March in San Francisco for Pride, and the peer groups are amazing. And then we do a lot of educational and intergenerational events, such as our intergenerational dinners. The first one we had last October for National Coming Out Day. We had a panel of elders and youth sharing their coming out stories throughout the generations. And it was so inspiring to see the different generations connect that we decided to do it every quarter. And our next one is August 11th, and it's going to be an intergenerational beach lunch at Rockaway Beach from 12 to 3. We're really excited for that. And then we're also a resource center, so folks can come. We have an LGBTQ library. We have computers that folks can use. We do support with getting connected to different resources. And then we have a whole educational program, everything from our Trans Talk series to doing trainings with behavioral health and recovery professionals, as well as teachers and staff, and training about how to really create affirming spaces, affirming campuses, affirming organizations for LGBTQ and trans community members.
And so, other than coming to the physical site in San Bruno, can people visit your website, and is there information available if perhaps they're not ready to walk in the doors yet, but they're still wanting to learn about some of your information and get some of the resource help?
Yeah, definitely. Our website is www.sanmateopride.org, and folks can get connected to our staff. And we're also willing to go and meet community where they're at. We recognize that not everyone feels comfortable coming to a center with a rainbow flag flying high. So we want to be as accessible as possible, and we have been collaborating with a number of groups to provide things throughout the county, because we everything from the bay to the coast, from East Palo Alto to Daly City. That's a large expanse, and we tried to stay centrally located and invite folks to the center, but there's many ways that folks can get involved.
Now, does the county fully fund the center, or are you doing any fees for programs or collecting donations to support the center?
Definitely. So we're currently almost 100% funded by innovation funds of the Mental Health Service Act. They're federal funds channeled through the county. So Behavioral Health and Recovery Services is sponsoring that partnership. That funding is seed money. So that funding is going to go away very soon. And so in the meantime, we're trying to diversify our funding sources. And individual donations is a huge part of it. And we know that there may be folks throughout the county that might not come to the Center for Services, but that would really want to support the work we're doing with youth and with older adults, with mental health services, and just providing
They just want to make sure your center stays open, your programs thrive, so they want to give. And I imagine that on that website is a wonderful little button they can click to say, I'd like to contribute to the Pride Center.
Yes, please, there's a donate button.
Now, you mentioned older adults and you mentioned youth. So what's the age range that you really serve through the Pride Center?
Our mission is to serve all ages, and so that's one of the reasons why we have a collaboration, because we recognize that no one organization could serve us all.
Right.
So Outlet, for example, helps with our youth program. Peninsula Family Service runs the older adult program, and we have many intergenerational activities and folks for all, wonderful programs and events for all ages.
So what are some of the goals that you hope to achieve by offering programs and services through the Pride Center?
One of our goals is to increase access to mental health services. A lot of LGBTQ folks are often really isolated in their communities from their LGBTQ identity, and as well as isolated from talking. Nobody really talks about mental health. Me, for example, I have depression and anxiety, and it's not something that is normalized in our community. So we really want to decrease that stigma, and we want to build community, a foundation of peer support, as well as overall improve the health and well-being of our LGBTQ community so that we can thrive, so that we can organize for the resources that we need, so that we can reduce the suicide rates, increase wellness, and as well as improve interagency collaboration. And
And so how do you measure some of these successes? So when students find you, when young folks find you, when active older adults find you, and now they've gone through your programs for a year, how do you measure success? Do you see them with receiving better health care? Do you see them lowering their anxiety and depression? I mean, are there ways in which you're measuring these successes?
Yes, there definitely are. So some of the ways that we're measuring our successes are by testimonies of folks themselves who come in. We just recently did client satisfaction surveys, and one of the things that's missing is that there isn't really data on how LGBTQ community access services. And so what's really exciting is that now throughout California, we're collecting information on demographics around sexual orientation and gender identity, so we'll actually have some baselines to build off of.
Wonderful.
And recently, the LGBTQ Commission did a consorted health and wellness survey that they're just about to announce some of the analyzed results and bring community in to fill in the gaps. And so we do it side by side with community, trying to respond to what they need, holding community forums and making sure that the community, that we're not operating a community center for the community, that the community is operating the center for themselves.
Right.
And, for example, I've never seen folks come in for therapy and bring their friends or come early to connect and hang out or do an expressive arts class or come to queer prom. The fact that we have multiple ways for folks to get involved, whether it be movie night or a crafternoons or our oral histories project of older adults and youth, really finding multiple ways to get folks connected and build community.
Right. Well, Lisa, it's hard not to pick up your enthusiasm and passion for the Pride Center. They are so lucky to have you, and we're so lucky to have the Pride Center with us in San Mateo County. I hope you'll come back and continue to tell us about how you're growing and the programs are thriving, and more importantly, everyone is receiving the services that they so greatly deserve and need. So thanks so much for sharing with us.
Yes, thank you so much.
And we'll see all of you next time on Penn Voice.